of the southbound 605. Speeds now in the 30s. By the way, I should mention, when we came on and jumped on the air, it was primarily because the speeds were above 90 miles per hour. So now that we're in this more traffic heavy area, now zooming in and out, extremely dangerous on the shoulder again. Speeds have backed off just simply by the way of the traffic situation. You cannot go more than 90 miles per hour because there is nowhere to go. All right, zigzagging in and out of traffic. We're seeing a lot of big rigs on this Friday afternoon. Very dangerous. So if you know anybody, 605 southbound now in the Whittier area, please alert them, because this guy, this suspect behind the wheel, is not messing around. Clearly doesn't care about any of these innocent drivers on the southbound 605 on this Friday afternoon. So all of these people really don't know that there's a high-speed pursuit coming up right behind them. Rose Hills Road, passing Beverly Boulevard here, Whittier, 605 southbound, sticking on the right-hand side. If you missed it just a few moments ago, he got pinched up against the barricades on the right-hand side. No doubt significant damage to the right side of the vehicle, the passenger side. Looks like we're taking an exit. Blowing through there, looks like on the frontage road, San Gabriel River Parkway and Beverly Boulevard. My colleague Alex Michelson has now jumped on the air with me here to help me cover this really dangerous pursuit. Alex, did you see what's happening and that close call with the big rig and being pinned up against the side there?
Yeah, just wild to see this. Interesting, this is a stolen vehicle. This is not usually the vehicle you would think of that you would steal. But, you know, this guy is going, and look at this, moving through traffic on a Friday afternoon as we approach rush hour, basically in the middle of rush hour right now. Lots of folks just trying to go home after a long day of work, long week of work, and now they are in the middle. Now we're going the wrong way. So this is really where things get dangerous. Thankfully, nobody was on the road there, but there are folks on the other side, and here we go. This, I mean, you wonder if law enforcement is going to do more to try to stop this thing. If you could do a pit maneuver or something, we are probably too fast for something like that. Tim Lynn is joining us right now, who has spent years in the helicopter covering pursuits, also spent years in law enforcement as part of pursuits. Tim, this is really dangerous right now.
Yeah, this is as dangerous as it gets. I mean, this guy here is at high speeds, wrong side of the street, and no regard for the motoring public around him. This thing has been really fast up on the freeways, and now that it's down on the surface streets, that just puts it at another level of danger with him going through intersections, hitting turns, and on the wrong side of the street. So it's going to be really something here with the Ontario PD still chasing a stolen vehicle here for quite a while. But
and talk about the danger and the strategy you use from a law enforcement perspective when somebody is going on the wrong side of the street, because the chances of a head-on collision, which could be deadly for somebody, increases exponentially when that's happening.
Well, the first rule for the pursuit is not go on the wrong side of the street with them. You know, try to stay on your side as best you can. And you see here he's using it to his advantage to get around traffic. But it's, yeah, you try not to take the wrong side with it. You try to parallel on the right side, because you don't want to take a head-on yourself with this. Now, the situation like this, normally what you'll see is the police departments go into a surveillance mode where they let the helicopter follow and let the ground units back off, hopefully trying to get that driver to calm down his driving once he doesn't see the red lights in the rearview mirror. But people like this who get real desperate and try to get away so fast and as recklessly as this guy's driving, I don't think that's going to change anything if they go into a surveillance mode.
Whoa. Okay. So we see him driving wrong way right now, live. This is video from earlier of him driving the wrong way, although he's driving the wrong way right now, live, which is the top box that you're looking at. Maybe we can focus on what's happening live right now, because we are in the midst of this precarious moment, and you see the law enforcement really flying next to him right there, moving at real fast speeds on side streets here, and you look at him getting away, and you wonder if he's going to get boxed in, or you feel for all the folks that are driving there and that may have no idea that this person is coming. So now the driver is moving in the correct direction, but still driving at fast speeds. Marla Tejas has left our coverage for now. Christine Devine just joining our coverage ahead of the Fox 11 News at 5. And Christine, nervous moments right now.
Alex, as I've been watching this coverage, amazing to watch this very, very dangerous pursuit. Again, the wrong way. You've seen this time and time again throughout this pursuit. It's amazing. Nobody has been hit already. Okay, so look at all the cars that are here. This is really bad right here. And you hope they're getting out of the way, but you know, the speed. There are some cars that may not know that this person is coming, and you hope that they're not distracted on their phone or you know, doing something where they're not looking directly, because this is a split-second situation where we could see a collision at any moment. All these innocent drivers who have nothing to do with whatever is going on in this person's life, who are now right in the middle of this person's path. So, Tim, what can law enforcement do in this situation? Right now, moving slow enough to potentially do a pit maneuver, but with the speeds that this person is going and going the wrong direction, is there much that they can do?
There's not much they can do. The only thing slowing this guy down is traffic, and the last thing you want to do is try to throw a pit maneuver in the middle of traffic, because you're going to send him into another driver or somebody up on the sidewalk. So right now, I would at this point would not stop chasing from the ground and just let the air unit take over, because this guy is just out of control. He's just on the wrong side of the streets, taking no way around these traffic that he's doing, and it's just causing many problems on the ground, and it's eventually going to end up in a very terrible crash.
So Tim, as you watch this pursuit, we've covered so many of these together. You see this driver, no regard for anybody else or him or herself. And so when you see, as law enforcement, somebody like this, so dangerous, what do you make of perhaps what's going on with this driver?
You know, the thing with it, you try to figure out what's going through a driver's head. This guy right here is just trying to get away. He's trying to stretch it out as far as he can to get away, hopefully find a place to get out and run. But the way he is driving, this is just way over the speed limits, way reckless, and there's a problem that he's not going to be able to handle if he comes up on cross traffic or somebody who just doesn't see him coming.
But Tim,
the problem is,
to me, it's like a death wish. This guy doesn't care if he gets hit or killed.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going through his mind. His whole thing is, I'm getting away. I want to get away, and he's not thinking of the consequences of what's going to happen at those speeds on surface streets. So right now, Ontario PD should go into a tracking mode and let that helicopter handle the chase and try to limit the liability to the people on the ground, because one car driving fast is one thing, a whole bunch of cars driving fast is another. So you just do what you can to try to stay on the aerial helicopter to follow him, because all you're doing is going to cause a problem to where this guy is going to either hit a police car, or a police car is going to hit a driver or hit another vehicle. And right now, this guy is showing no regard for safety. So I would limit the exposure as much as I could just by letting that helicopter follow and let the ground units back off.
And it seems, Tim, that they are doing exactly what you said. We do not see as many law enforcement vehicles, at least right on this person's tail. And sometimes the lack of presence of law enforcement vehicles will lead the driver to not drive as wildly and back off on some of the most dangerous maneuvers. We'll see if that happens in this case. We don't know much about what led to this stolen vehicle, if that was an armed carjacking, if this driver could be armed, why he or she would steal this particular vehicle, which is not, you know,
a work truck of sorts?
I mean, yeah, I mean, doesn't exactly look like if you're going to steal a car, this would be the one you would steal, but you wonder what the backstory is, or the desperation that led to this person getting in this vehicle and taking it on this wild ride. Now in Whittier, we're on Bright Avenue and Whittier Boulevard as we approach the top of the 5 o'clock hour here on Fox 11, Christine.
You know, Whittier is such a big area. I've been wondering why this driver hasn't gone onto one of the freeways or gone into other communities. But again, noting how big the Whittier area is, a lot of big wide open streets, very dangerous there. You know, I watch this, I feel for every single innocent motorist that is encountering this driver, especially in the wrong lanes. Right there, like what are these drivers thinking about their lives?
These people trying to move out of the way, but you wonder how long this game is going to be able to last, and you just hope that it doesn't end really tragically for somebody, which you know, this is like tempting fate to try this so many times with drivers coming this direction. This is not one of those pursuits, Christine, that we sometimes anchor at 10:45 at night when you have empty roads. I mean, this is almost 5 o'clock at night on a Friday when there's a lot of people out, and they are not expecting to see a stolen work truck coming at them. You see now the window looks like is down for this driver. It gives us a better sense of him. I mean, this is not a truck that has the most advanced handling capabilities either, and you wonder how much he's going to be able to ride this particular vehicle.
Yeah, this is unbelievable as much performance he's getting out of this small work truck here, and as much damage as that thing has. On the right side, there's a lot of damage on the right-hand side, but right now his tires are holding up. But you have to realize he's driven this thing at a high rate of speed now for up to 25 minutes. His brakes are going to start giving out on him. The tires, their condition, start overheating. And then he's going to come up on an intersection where he's going to need all the braking he can get, and it's going to get to a point where he can't stop. So right now, we always hoped in police work that the driver would slow down once the units got off of him. But as you can see, this guy here, he's not showing any
Tim,
any signs of slowing down.
Yeah, we're watching him again in the wrong lanes and going at those high rates of speed. Motorists coming right at him, trying to weave around him. You know, I want to say, is this person perhaps on drugs, but the way they're driving, I don't know. What's your take on that?
Yeah, his motor skills are doing pretty well here with this weaving and bobbing.
Okay, here we go.
These different intersections.
So now we see there's an open lane here without a lot of traffic. So now we do see a law enforcement vehicle trying to move in. Let's see what they might do to try to bring this thing to an end. That's the first time that we had seen one close up in a while. And just as you said, Tim, the presence of that vehicle caused him to drive even more radically. And look at this. And now we've got a real pursuit is on. And you wonder, Tim, if some of this law enforcement is saying enough is enough, this is too dangerous, we've got to stop this thing somehow.
Well, there's a point that you have to make in your mind in this pursuit, and it's as far as safety to the public is number one. You have you're duty bound to protect other drivers on the streets, and to not do things in such a violent way or dangerous way that you cause problems. The suspect is another thing, but as an officer, you are duty bound to protect the other drivers. So if it gets to a point where it's just too dangerous, you have to back off and let it go. And what happens. It's up to this driver. He's going to cause the end of this pursuit by his driving.
Is there a danger in that, though? The counter to that is, if something happens, and we've been seeing this person just get away with this for so long, that then they're criticized for not doing more to stop it.
Correct. You're going to get criticized either way. If you don't chase it, you're going to get criticized. If you chase it and hurt somebody, you're going to get criticized. So it's a no-win situation for the police departments. And they have to weigh all of this. You have a watch commander in the station watching this pursuit and giving directions to the supervisors in the field of what they want done. And they are taking into consideration. Chasing him is not ending the problem. The only way you're going to end this problem is do a tactical ram if you have to, which is very, very unusual and usually never authorized because it is deadly force. But at this point, you just have to be able to stay with him with the helicopters. You have the means to keep an eye on him. But what I was getting at is if you have 4 police cars chasing him, now you have 5 vehicles at a high rate of speed on a surface street with 5 times the chance of somebody hitting somebody along the way here. So they're going to do what they can.
So here we go.
Visions of
Could we see a pit maneuver here? Are they going to try it? As
tactical ram.
It's definitely fast to do it, but they're getting right up on the driver, going through another intersection.
Still these wide open roads, Alex, at almost 5 o'clock here.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you have, I know, again, I say Whittier's very...
Another intersection.
Still these wide open roads, Alex, at almost 5 o'clock here.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you have, I know, again, I say Whittier's very big community, a lot of big wide open roads there, but where's all the traffic you think of during rush hour in L.A.?
Okay, let's see what happens here. We haven't seen them really engage this vehicle in a while. Could they try to ram it? Could they try to spin it? Or do they just try to stay on this person's tail? Now look at this, 90 miles an hour. And if you were even to try to ram or spin the car at that speeds, you think about the consequences could be deadly, and not only just for the driver of that car, but if it gets spun into another driver who happens to be coming nearby,
wrong way.
That's dangerous too. Now, wrong way.
And Alex, my thoughts too, the officer who has to be put in that position to make that kind of move, dangerous for them as well, because that's a car crash if you do something like that.
Exactly, and a car crash at that speed could kill multiple people. So we've got to be careful in the way that we cover this as well as we approach the top of the hour here on Fox 11. We are also about to welcome our audience that is joining us for the simulcast on our sister station, Fox 11 Plus. So it is now 5 o'clock, and we welcome you, those of you watching on Fox 11, those of you watching on Fox 11 Plus, those of you watching at foxla.com/live. We are watching the high-speed pursuit, a dangerous pursuit of a stolen vehicle. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine. We thank you for being with us. What a terrible start to the Friday and weekend as we watch this very, very dangerous pursuit. The stolen vehicle here looks like to be some kind of work truck. We believe there's one person involved, a man there, driving it right now 50 miles per hour, but we've seen 90 on these surface streets. It looks to be wide open, which you don't think of LA traffic being wide open at 5 o'clock, but if you know the Whittier area, you know there are really big, wide roads there, and it's a big community. Now in the Downey-Norwalk area. But look at this driver here trying to plow his way through this intersection of unsuspecting motorists, even a bus having to stop for this driver.
We are joined now by police specialist Tim Lynn, who has covered pursuits for years and also been a part of pursuits for years as a member of law enforcement. For people that are just joining us at the top of the hour, Tim, can you remind us of the real challenges for law enforcement in this pursuit, one of the more dangerous ones we've seen in a while?
It is one of the most dangerous we've seen in a long time. This guy is driving at rates of speed that are just been unseen before here in the late time here. But he's driving so fast that the officers on the ground have to back off, because we've talked about this before, to where we have air units overhead who are going to follow it, and the ground units have to weigh the danger of this pursuit with the outcome, because they have to keep in mind the drivers on the street, their safety as well as their own. And right now, this person is driving so fast, is so reckless, is that the officers cannot safely keep up with him, even with their emergency equipment on. So they're going to have to rely on that helicopter to keep an eye on it and to stay somewhere close in the area, so when this person does go on foot, they're able to chase him down. But you have a liability as a police officer if you injure somebody in a pursuit, even if you're not even behind the suspect. If you're just trying to keep up and you run into somebody, you are liable under the state law if you're showing reckless endangerment for going down the street at a high rate of speed, where if you do hit somebody, you're going to hurt somebody. So you have to keep that in mind. Also, the watch commander watching this from the station is weighing everything going on here. What is the want? It's a stolen vehicle right now. There is other information that there might be other stolen property on here, and right now, is it worth it? Is the risk worth it? Risk versus the reward is what they look at. This is a stolen vehicle. This is a suspect who's driving at a rate of speed. Yep.
Tim,
he's driving at a rate of speed that's going to injure somebody.
Yeah, we're now in the Downey and Norwalk area. When we picked up this pursuit, we largely covered it in the Whittier area. But I'm also noting this driver has not gotten on any of the freeways that he could get on. Finally, we see a bit of traffic here, but look at that evasive
over
move.
that center median, which includes some plants there, and now going in the wrong direction once again. This is what makes this so dangerous, that this repeated move into the wrong direction, and the sort of amazing performance of this truck. That is not exactly the top of the line pick when it comes to performance. And now it looks like, Christine, we may be going on to the freeway. Here we go. And let's see how this changes the dynamics. So how does this change the equation now, Tim Lynn?
Actually, once he gets on the freeway, it becomes a little bit better because you don't have cross traffic and he's unable to get the wrong way, and things of that sort. Traffic's moving a lot faster.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Whoa, look at this. Driving in the middle of the intersection there. This is where you think the guy may be on drugs. What is this move? So, and now potentially going on another freeway? What is going on here? You wonder, did the driver lose control of the vehicle? How did this happen? Why is he doing this?
Yeah, might need to rewind on that there and see.
Oh, man, and you see the law enforcement right there. This may be the end.
Here? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Going into a wash?
Oh, my God.
Driving into a wash.
Wow.
Okay,
and
that
it looks like a fence there.
And driver's going to run. Door open. Door open. There he goes.
It is a male, and he's now taking... Wow. Didn't see that coming.
So he's now in a wash area underneath the freeway. You have to wonder how law enforcement can approach this now, being that they're on top of the freeway. We had a good visual on there with that white shirt and looked like jeans of some sort. Does he change clothes, take that shirt off? Does he try to blend in? Are there homeless people down there as well? And you wonder also just how disgusting that water must be right now. When you think about the rain that has been coming earlier today, that wash probably would have been going really good. It's going to be going really good on Sunday. But now there's, I'm sure, a mix of a lot of things. We just saw a guy riding his bike that's concerning. On the side there. You do wonder, we do know, because we have not, as a society, dealt with our homeless population adequately. We have said it's okay to allow people to live by washes. There are usually homeless populations along washes. And that looks like there's somebody walking around there. I don't know if that was law enforcement or not. That was not somebody in the white T-shirt we saw earlier. Right. But it is hard for Skyfox, unless they have another outfit. You know? Had a jacket with them. Right. You know, as we watch this here, Alex, when I saw that person ride by on the bicycle, it let us know that there are pedestrians and that there are people down there. So that's the moment you ask the question, how did this happen? Did he lose control? Hard to tell, Alex, in the shot that we saw that would be a very interesting strategy, to drive the vehicle into a wash and try to escape that way. I mean, that would really be something, although so far it appears that it's been a successful strategy in terms of eluding law enforcement. It does look like, if we go back full screen, I don't know if Skyfox can move over, but it looked like there was a homeless encampment that we just saw near, at least some tents right near where this is all happening, which is going to make this whole thing even more complicated. So we've got a lot of different LA stories all coming together here at one time. Well, we were supposed to start our broadcast by, look at the encampment there. What a mess. So we were supposed to start our broadcast by talking about the massive storm that's supposed to come over the weekend, Sunday and Monday. LA Mayor Karen Bass is giving a briefing right now at City Hall with folks that you can watch at foxla.com. That is supposed to overwhelm areas like these washes, which is why there's been an effort to try to get these homeless people out of there ahead of that big storm that is coming. Then, of course, the biggest story in Southern California is often pursuits. We're following one now, combined with our other biggest story that's the #1 issue for people here, which is homelessness. And they've all now come together in one story in this area near our freeway in the middle of rush hour traffic. This could be a game changer with this suspect now blending in, perhaps, in these homeless encampment areas. We've got the helicopter overhead. We're going to continue to follow this. If we get a development, We're going to bring it to you in the meantime.
We're going to go back. We're going to go to that mayor's press conference to try to give you this important information that could be life-saving information about the storm that's upcoming. So Sky Fox is going to stay here. As soon as anything happens, we'll go back to it. In the meantime, to LA Mayor Karen Bass live.